Welcome to the Pitmaster Podcast. We're barbecue competition competitors that aim to share information, advice, tips, and tall tales about our favorite pastime. Head over to the pitmasterpodcast.com for all things Pitmasters, or follow us on your favorite social media platform. And now, here are the hosts of the Pitmaster Podcast, the two-time Grand Champion, SCA World Champion finalist, and barbecue specialist of Smoke Ain't No Joke Barbecue, the Anthony Luan, and the 24-time Grand and Reserve Grand Champion, Reserve World Grand Champion, Windover High Roller Champion, and the founder of Pitmaster Barbecue Supply Company stores in Utah, the old man himself from Big Johnson's Barbecue, Jesse Johnson.
This is Greg Rempe from the Barbecue Central Show, and you are listening to the Pitmasters Podcast, and they are doing it live.
We'll do it live.
That's right, Bill. I just said that. They're going to do it live.
We'll do it live.
Yes, live. They're going to do it live.
What's up, Pitmasters? Live on a Tuesday night. What's up, Jesse?
What are you doing, brother? You got your jazz hat on. Must have the NBA draft going on.
Yeah, man. I've been watching that. I've been excited for today, man. So just seeing what the Jazz are going to be up to, and we got the number 2 pick, so it's not too bad. So we'll see how it goes. The guy didn't want to come here. We want him here. We'll just see how they go. We'll see. Same thing with Ace Bailey last year. So yeah. He didn't want to be here, but he really enjoyed his season. The team's starting to grab hold, and we'll see what's going to happen. So.
Yeah, I don't even know who the starting lineup is for the Jazz anymore.
Right. Yeah, I just wanted to let everybody know. Sorry we were late. We had to get our guest in order. He is in the green room waiting. We will bring him in just a minute, Mr. Brad Leininger. Hope you guys have your notepads ready because this dude might drop some secrets. He might not. Who knows?
Might drop some bombs on everybody.
Exactly.
God, everybody's getting ready for the Blackfoot competition this weekend.
Right. Exactly.
And let's see who's all been in. 5XL's been in this week. Tuffy's been in. Bill Purvis from Chicken Fries has been in.
Oh, man.
A bunch of heavy hitters going up that comp.
Right. That's why I didn't go. It was just a waste of money. It'd be easier just to send my money in an envelope and say, good luck.
Well, you got to donate once in a while. Can't be scared. Can't be scared.
Can't be scared. Exactly. The only person that you can beat is yourself, right?
Right. That's all it is. Make
Yeah.
the best barbecue you can, and it's all left up to the judges after that.
Right. And then also the same weekend, if you're a steak cook, you're heading to Richfield, Utah for the quad. You have about 48 hours to sign up for that. Maybe not even that. I think tomorrow.
For the severe seer.
Yep, quad. So you have about 24 hours to sign up for that. Other than that, man, just out west, keep your flames contained. That's all I can say. Make sure everything is safe and contained.
Yeah, going camping tomorrow and got a propane bar fire pit. So
Good. Yeah, man. So yeah, let's just go talk to Brad and see what he's up to, man. This dude is everywhere. I'm surprised he had time for us. It's crazy.
Yeah, let's do some shigging.
Yeah, let's do it.
This is the single best investment you can make to become a better cook.
Thermopen 1 is the best thermometer I've ever had.
My thermometer of choice is ThermoWorks.
When it comes to quality that I can trust, this is the company that I go to over and over again.
There may be other thermometers out there, but there aren't other Thermopens.
Welcome to the show, Brad. How's it going?
Good. Sorry I'm late, guys.
No. It's all good. Did you get sidetracked cooking brisket or what?
Yeah, man. I'm on a menu for drink menu for a new concept we've got. So I was
very nice.
A little deep in that. So anyway,
yeah.
I didn't even know what time it was.
Yeah, well, we all of us most competitive barbecue guys know who you are. The new guys getting into this game, they might know who you are. They probably do, but we like to hit the rewind button and talk to all of our guests and hear about how barbecue entered your life.
I'm from Missouri. That was the military, kind of grew up everywhere, but my roots are in Missouri. My grandparents are all from here, farmers up in Northwest Missouri. And so barbecue is kind of in our DNA, cooking hogs and cooking meat over fire. And I just grew up cooking a lot. I worked in restaurants as a kid, worked in restaurants, as a young adult before I briefly stepped away and kept back to it. But in barbecue and live fire cooking and everything was always just a part of what I did. And my first official barbecue gig was in college. I worked at a little place, kind of bartended / cooked barbecue at a place called the Pilot House in Cape Girardeau, which is just right down the road, obviously, from Old Hickory Pits. And
gotcha.
They had a bunch of Old Hickory Pits, and they would load it up. The only thing they cooked there was they would cook fresh hams. So they were smoking hams on those Old Hickory Pits. Man, they had sandwiches, just did a ton of catering. And that was my kind of first introduction to restaurant barbecue. I was working there, my early 20s, bartending and slinging Q at the Pilot House there in Cape Girardeau. And as far as, competition Q, I always continued to barbecue throughout my adult life. My brother-in-law, I would cook at the lake and do stuff. Got into competition Q 2012. I think a lot of us were watching Pitmasters at the time, and we've been up to the American Royal. Chuck, I can't remember what year, maybe 2010, maybe. We went up to the American Royal and kind of wandered around there and met a few people. And Pitmasters kind of, we just sit there watching on the weekend, and I kind of got my first contest by accident. I had a buddy here in town that did some competition barbecue, and he ended up having to withdraw from our local contest here in Springfield, Missouri. And he knew that I was interested in it. We talked about it a little bit. And so he called me up, asked me if I wanted his spot. And we took his spot, won an ancillary, won a potato salad ancillary, which qualified us for the first ever World Food Championships in Las Vegas. And Research was enough to pay for that trip. So we got a free trip to Vegas, won like $1,000. And I got 3 meat calls that day. And if I knew how to cook competition chicken, I would have won the contest. I think we ended up 6th overall, 70-team contest, but my chicken was in the one, I think it was like a 158 or something. I still damn near won the contest. That's how everything was. And that kind of set the hook from there. So, our next contest was a month or 2 later, and we did good there. I ended up getting I think it was 3rd or 4th. That's where I met Mr. Tim Shear there. He won that contest that day. And I think he kept me. I think I got 2nd in pork. He ended up getting 1st in pork. One of the many, first and seconds that we had, over the last 15 years, and then just started cooking more and more from there. And lo and behold, made a career out of it. So it's definitely been a crazy journey.
What year was the World Food Championships? What year were you there?
That was 2012. I cooked it many times, but the first one was 2012. It was back behind whatever that was, Bally's or whatever.
I was there.
Nice. They had it over 2 days or whatever. And I didn't even cook barbecue there. I ended up cooking the potato salad, and then we entered the side dish, which is no longer a category, but we ended up finishing, top 5 in both of them. And then I cooked burger the next year. I didn't cook barbecue at the World Food Championships probably until 2017, 2018, something like that.
Yeah, I got the 2nd place in pork that year, and then I cooked all the chicken wings for Tribe MMA that year too.
Awesome, yeah, that's a cool thing, man. It was always a good thing, and they run it at a weird time, They've got it up against right during the Jack and the Royal and all that stuff. I haven't been able to do it the last few years, but I've always enjoyed the World Food Championships, and I like Mike, man. I like Mike McLeod. The barbecue misses him.
He's awesome.
Yeah. So you kind of said that you're watching the Pitmasters, the competitive.
That's what got us all.
Show. That's what's got us all.
Old timers, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of where I learned about competitive barbecue as well. But watching that show, did you ever imagine one day you would be on the other side of the camera and people would be watching you compete? Okay, barbecue brawl, right?
I don't think so. I mean, I think it's like, how did I get to where I'm at? People ask me that all the time. It's just one competition at a time, right? And then one day you wake up and you're like, oh my gosh, you look back at everything you've done. But I don't think, look, I like to compete. I like to win. I like to put my best effort into everything. But I don't think I ever sit there and said, hey, I'm gonna end up being on the level of those guys that were on Pitmasters. And I remember the first time it hit me, and this is probably before, I think it was before COVID, maybe 2018. I'm sitting there cooking a class, and I've got Johnny Trigg in my class sitting there in front of me, right? And we're in Phoenix, Arizona, doing a class, and I nailed the brisket, and I'm cutting a piece of brisket and hand Johnny Trigg a brisket. You could see for the first time, like, he wasn't listening to us the whole 2 days. And for the first time, when he tasted the brisket, you could see, oh my gosh, he was interested all of a sudden, hot and fast, and drums and everything else. And that was the first time you're like, okay, I've made it. I've got Johnny Triggs here sitting in that class. And you never did. That also the time I used Tuffy Stone's Jack Daniels trophy knife. I didn't know I did to trim chicken one time when we did a class out in Virginia. That was also a great story. I looked down there and said Jack Daniels champion. I'm like, I probably shouldn't be using this. But anyway, man,
right?
It's been a cool journey. I mean, it really has. Right. I've been blessed, and to be able to do TV shows and hopefully influence people to get into barbecue like I was influenced is really a great opportunity.
Right. Yeah. My biggest pat on the back was about 4 years ago when Tuffy Stone was teaching a class at ThermoWorks. And before that class started, he's like, hey, this is how I'm trimming this brisket. You watch it one time. Then when I'm talking, you're going to trim the brisket exactly like how I just showed you. I'm like, oh, shit. Talk about pressure. Tuffy Stone's telling you to teach how to trim a brisket. And then you have to do it in front of a live audience, and I nailed it. He's like, well done. He goes, this is fantastic. I was like, woo. I was like, I got a pat on the back from Tuffy Stone. I'm good.
Yeah.
I've done something. But and it's really cool to be able, like you said, to be able to see those people from the TV show that we all looked up and kind of admired, like, dang, these guys are awesome, to be able to actually be able to cook against them or cook with them, things like that. That's such a cool honor, man, to be able to do that. And then, now people are looking up to you on Barbecue Ball, like, man, I want to someday cook like Brad Leininger, right? So
that's what we think about our quote unquote sport, right? Like we got the chance to go play against Tiger Woods, right? Or we get go hit off of the best pitcher. It's your chance to go out there and compete. Like you want to come out and compete against me or compete against anybody else, any of the other greats, man. Go out there and do it. All you got to do is sign up, right? And you can see if your stuff's back. What other quote unquote professional endeavor do you get the opportunity to do that? And I think that's one thing that makes competition barbecue special.
Yeah, and I think I still think competitive barbecue is still a very young food sport, because when we're talking about Johnny Trigg, Myra Mixon, Tuffy Stone, these guys kept all their secrets in their pockets. They had to learn everything that they know and execute it without anybody else knowing, right? That's where the whole shigging came from, right? Is everybody's like, oh, what are they doing over there? So they had to learn it firsthand by practice. Now the people getting into barbecue, they can go watch a Brad Leininger video, Barbecue Champs Academy video, and being able to almost bypass hundreds of hours in a 3-hour video.
It doesn't change, right? Like so the journey doesn't change. Yes, that's true. But because of that, it is that much more difficult now to win. The only path to barbecue success is the same as it was when those guys were coming up. And I tell people this all the time: it's repetition. You can't cheat that. Yes, I can give you recipes. Yes, I can give you. But if you're not out there and you don't go out there and put the contests in, it does. Sure, you may get lucky and win once. And I think that's one thing I see a lot. Somebody will take a class, they'll go out there and have instant success for a time or two, then it goes away. And they're like, well, why? Well, why? Is because you don't have the experience. You need to cook. Same as it was back in their day. They had to go out and they had to put in their time. You still do. The only thing is now like, okay, you had a few people that really knew what they were doing, were honing their craft. Now everybody does. Like you go to a contest, like you guys were talking about Blackfoot, right? Like you go to that contest, man. I don't know how many teams they have, but there's probably 20 teams, 25 teams that can win. I tell you, when I was starting out, it wasn't that way, right? You go to a contest and there would be 5 or 6 teams that could win. And so yes, everybody has the roadmap, but yes, everybody has the roadmap. And that means you absolutely have to be on your game with tenderness and how you're seasoning and how you're finishing. And it's never been, and I can tell you've been doing it for a long time, it's never been harder to win than it is now. And those repetitions are important. So it is true. Yes, the information's out there that wasn't there when those guys were coming up, but also they weren't competing in quite the same environment we are now, as difficult and as tough as everybody is to compete against.
Well, and everybody's like, well, I don't think those guys could come out and compete with me nowadays. I think they can. It's changed. I think it's like it's changed. You can, like, once again, we'll use Tiger Woods as reference.
I mean,
his driver, he's using a driver from 2019. You can put a brand new driver for 26 in his hand, and he's going to hit it probably even better and farther. It's just a matter of them going in and doing it and executing it. Even though
they're considered older, have the ability. They certainly have the ability to come out and cook. I mean, they do. I think it would be tough for anybody to step in and just be like, okay, I'm going to go cook a contest next Saturday and run into it and win, because people are out putting in the reps. But do I think, like, if Tuffy Stone decided he wanted to be a competition and chase points next year, could he round into form? Yeah. Do I think it would take him some time? I really do, because nothing's changed, but now you just can't miss anymore. You used to be able to go out, like I said, to start the show. I mean, I got a 150 something chicken, still almost won the contest. You do that now, you're not even in the top 25, right? You cannot miss on a meat now at this time, and that takes, and it's even hard if you take a little bit of time off. I'm sure there's people that just cook a few contests, and you take 4 or 5, 6 months off, and you come back and you cook, and it's difficult to get back into it because you cannot miss now. So while I believe those guys could absolutely still win now, I do think it is. I don't know that they'd win at the rate that they won at back in those days. I can tell you, I mean, I'm not, I had a great year last year. And so it's hard to sit there, but I can tell you right now, it's hard. It is as difficult as ever to win right now. And you're not seeing people like, I won 11 contests, I believe, last year. I don't know if we'll ever see that again. I think the person that wins team of the year this year is probably going to win it with 5 or 6 wins, just because it's that hard to win right now.
Yeah. Because LC had like 7 or 8 last year, if I remember right.
Yeah, and he's cook. I'm using KCBS. He's cooking in Texas, and those guys cook a little more. Like LC probably cooked 60 events last year, and they're literally, when their season ends, it's our season ends, it's just ramping up down in Texas. But I don't, Texas. I'm not sure that it's the same as KCBS exactly, but I mean, I'm sure it's getting more difficult to win down in Texas as well. But definitely on the KCBS side. Now, whether some guys get more wins or not in Texas, I'm not sure. Well, I'm not sure what those CBA guys are winning. I don't know what the team of the year won last year, but I can tell you right now in KCBS, I don't know that we'll see 10 wins again.
That's wild. So if you're going to tell somebody who's like, Brad, I'm going to start my barbecue competition career right now, what should I focus in on?
I'll tell them buy a boat.
Buy a boat.
Right.
I think we touched on it a little bit, right? I think it's just repetition. You got to put in the time, and it's unfortunate it's so expensive to do, but it really takes you 50, 60 contests that you need to go out and cook before you really kind of know what you're doing. And I know that frustrates a lot of people, and it is frustrating, but you just look at pretty much anybody. If you don't have that 50, 60 contests, you're probably not going to be super consistent, right? And so I think that's the key thing. If you want to do this, you have to go out and you've got to go cook contests and hone your craft.
And you gotta take notes at every contest too, because okay, where are you at? Where's your altitude? Okay, what'd you do different from the last competition? You gotta know all those things to dial it in.
Do you think staying in the backyard scene is beneficial, or do you think just going pro and just really starting to just go big or go home scenario? What do you think? Because KCBS has this backyard series that people can compete in, and so you're still under the same umbrella. But where do you think, if somebody's going to dive into this, what would you recommend?
Well, I mean, look, we didn't really have the backyard when I was coming up, and the backyard is more. Those guys are backyard cooks. They're as pros as we are. That's a 2-meat cook thing versus a 4. So I think it's just whatever you financially can be. Are you going to ever be considered, one of the greats if you stay in the backyard? Of course not. Like, can you go out and win trophies in the backyard? Sure. And it just depends on what your goals are. I mean, if your goals are just to go out and have fun on the weekend and cook some contests, and stay in the backyard. But if you're truly wanting to go out and be the next, Tuffy Stone or Darren or me or whoever, right? Like you can't do it in the backyard. So it just kind of depends on what your goals are. I personally think, and I think KCBS is moving to this just because those guys in the backyard cook chicken and ribs as well as the pros do. They cook 40 contests a year. A lot of them do. They chase points. They got as big of trailers. And so I think they just need to turn that into a 2-meat series and a 4-meat series and let people jump back and forth. I think you'd get a lot of people back into it, because there's a lot of people that aren't cooking anymore purely because of the economics of it. And so I think opening up that 2-meat series to people that are no longer cook, I do believe that would help barbecue grow. So I hope to see that happening. But I just think that if you want to be the best, you need to cook 4 meats. If you're okay and you're just doing it for fun, then cook 2 meats. There's nothing wrong with that. Like cooking 2 meats is great. Like, I mean, it would be, you know, a fantastic thing to do. I think just to be for everybody to be able to jump back and forth.
Yeah, a lot of the backyard teams in our area, they jump back and forth. They have some success in the backyard. They want to try the pros, and a lot of them have had some success in the pros as well. But it's usually 1 or 2 meets, and then they just work next couple of years, and they start creeping up the leaderboard. It's kind of fun to see.
Sure.
Yeah, and then something else I would recommend to a first time somebody who's looking to get into this is you can't go cheap. We know this. You can't go and cook a Costco Prime against the Snake River Farms,
No.
or triple, or any Wagyu beef. You have to go into it knowing you're going to have this expense, and you have to be willing to shut out. You can't cut corners, just like your restaurant, right, Brad? You can't cut corners. You have to be all in or nothing.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think you got to
Give yourself an edge.
I think you got to know where you can and can't cut corners. I mean, you don't need a $75,000 trailer. Like you can cook under a canopy, but definitely on meat. I mean, you need to be cooking. I mean, not that you always hear stories. Of course you can go out and win a contest with a prime. Of course you can. You do it consistently? No. I mean, what wins? I mean, yeah, of course primes will win brisket at here or there, but 74 out of 75 contests are being won by Wagyu. So play your odds. Same thing, you can't, if you cut a piece of meat, you don't like it, go find some more. Like you can't go to a contest without good ribs, without good pork, because like Joe Pierce isn't showing up with bad pork, right? So not only does he do it every weekend, is he probably better than you are, but now he's got better meat. Can you land on the tables and have it work out that you beat him? Sure. Is it going to happen every weekend? No. And so
absolutely not.
You need to make sure you're cooking the product that you need to cook. That being said, there are places that you can cut corners and save some money, and a lot of that is on equipment and a setup, because you really don't need to have an elaborate setup to go cook a contest. I think that's one of the things that is been shown, and you'll see a lot of great people that are cooking under tents. Hell, I didn't win in my trailer last year at all. I won every contest flying in under a canopy, borrowing equipment. And so, you show you don't necessarily need $100,000 setup to go out and cook a contest. But you definitely do want to put in money on the meat for sure, because you're going to have better engine, you got better chances.
What are you cooking on these days in competitions where you take your trailer?
I cook on drum smokers. I've been doing that for a while. I fire up the JMO on then, but I cooking on drum smokers.
Gateways?
For the most part, yeah, I'll use gateways or whatever. It's the Quattro Ds are good cookers. I've cooked on those a few times. I'm looking lately. I know at Pit Barrel Cooker, I'm thinking about bringing a couple of those out and firing them up and see how they go. So and those are that $500-600. And so anyway,
Well, yeah, like once again, we're going to go back to where we all started. Pitmaster show. Harry Sue was out there doing on WSMs. I think he did it on one.
He won the
Vegas.
Yeah, he won the Vegas contest with like 120 teams on one WSM.
Yeah,
and that's one of those things you can do, right? But again, are you going to do it consistently? Probably not. Yes, you can use one drum or one smoker or one WSM, but is that something you want to make a living doing? That's more of like hey, I'm going to do this for Instagram or for a video or whatever. But in general, man, that you don't want to be pressing yourself. I would say, 2 minimum, 3 is probably the best. And of course we usually use 4, just have one for each meat, but easily 3, you can get away with 2 and still be in pretty good shape. But you can cooking on one drum, which we've done it a few times. You can put yourself in a bad situation. You're definitely hurting your quality.
Yeah.
Single drum.
Too much juggling.
Yeah. You say in the pit barrel, I'm like, oh my gosh, those will make me scared all the time, just because they don't have an exhaust, right? You're just kind of like you're limited to just the air intake and then the 4 holes on the side.
That's the way drum cooking started, though. Was okay. So and Jeff Spurgeon's a guy that's kind of like we consider one of the godfathers of drum cooking. And man, he would get his drums, his gateways. He wouldn't even get a thermometer put in the thing. You know what I mean? He just have it be hot, because that's all you're doing is you're coloring the thing up. And then what he would do is just have a pellet cooker or something. We called it the Jeff EC because it was a homemade cabinet pellet cooker, but he would just throw his meat on that to finish it after it was wrapped. But you don't need necessarily, like if you're paying attention to the thermometer. The problem with the pit barrel is it's difficult to adjust the temperature. and you need to adjust it for altitude and stuff like that. So it makes it a little bit difficult to be a traveling cooker. And so you know how much airflow you need, but really honestly, if you lost your thermometers on your drum smoker and just looked at the velocity of the stack, listen to it, pay attention with your senses, how fast the smoke's moving, that's a better indication of how the thing's cooking than the temperature.
Yeah, I put some gateway style intakes on my pit barrel back in the day.
Oh wow.
Nice.
So you actually drilled holes and then put down pipes and everything, huh?
Put one down pipe is all I put in, but yeah, it's
got the whole pipe on it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Be interested to see.
Nice. Speaking of cookers, I'm just gonna throw this out there just to be weird. What you guys think about this new Ninja cooker? Have you guys seen it?
I don't even know anything about it.
Me either.
I just seen it at Costco the other day, and I was like, I wonder if these guys know anything about it. It's literally a gasser, but it has a pot for you to put pellets in, and it burns the pellets, and then it has a fan that sucks the smoke in to your cooking chamber, which is the gas side for the smoke flavor.
Gotcha.
I'm like, why the hell are we doing this?
Is there anything Ninja doesn't make now, though? I mean, they got like everything cooking thing in the world. You're like, oh, it's the Ninja waffle maker. Ninja.
Right? I'm all about that Ninja slushy though.
Ninja creamy stuff. Thing.
Right.
If it wasn't so loud, I'd have it spinning me up one right now.
Right.
Making some margaritas,
that's kind of my segue into it. Are these companies, these grill manufacturers, are they just going too far when the simplicity's in a drum?
Man, I think
Weber kettle.
Look, I mean, I think a lot of times people like complexity. They think they need it. Like you look at different drums, and so you think more complex, it's got to be better. And a lot of times, man, it's simple: air in, air out, direct over the coals, let it go, and you don't need, you get in, you get into some of the things on the drums. You're like, why the heck do you do that? What's the point of that? It ends up being counterproductive. And what are we trying to do here? You know what I mean? The simplicity of a drum is the beauty of a drum. And same with the WSM or some of that other stuff, or even like the Weber kettle, right? Like, or PK or whatever. Yeah, man, a lot of times the easiest things there's left. So I can tell you right now, I've had pellet cookers before, and the hop row get jammed or this or that, and I'll quit cooking on it and pull the drum out because it's easier, right? I'll tell you the easy of the pellet cooker. You're like, screw this is way too difficult. I'll pull the drum out and fire it up and cook on it,
right?
Because you can sit there, it's literally set it, forget it. You don't need to do anything. Just let the thing cook.
Right. I was giving my cousin shit the other day because we were at his house for his birthday and he was grilling. And his propane regulator went out on the thing. I was like, charcoal would have never done that to you. Charcoal would never let you high and dry like that. Just saying.
100%.
Right. But yeah, so I think sometimes simpler is better. I always tell people when they ask me what grill should I get, I'm like, start off on a Weber kettle. You can get those off Facebook Marketplace for $25.
Yep.
If you set it up correctly, you can cook some of the best barbecue ever. It's just a matter of learning your grill.
The biggest thing is, like you said, learning your grill. Whatever you're cooking on, I mean, you can beat people with a trash can, but that's basically what a drum was back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I started with drums and went to offsets and then went to pellet cookers and back to drums, and
well,
that's the move.
Well, I think everything's kind of moving because I feel like barbecue started off as the traditional offset, then drum smokers, and then pellet grills, and now we're back to charcoal grills. And now, thanks to Christy Vanover, we have a whole nother level of live fire cooking. What do you think about this, Brad? The live fire cooking competitively?
I think it's great. I mean, my only negative thing about it, which the negative is the positive as well, as far as it's very performative. And so that's cool. Is it the best way to get something done? No. And so I don't know that it'll ever be, other than the fact that it's cool to look at. I don't know if it'll make it past that stage, right? Like obviously the old Argentinian, the Asado crosses and the Santa Maria style cookers, very practical, very, very, they evolve from something. And so that's kind of cool, traditional way to cook. So that'll always be a place. Some of the other stuff, you go and look at the live fire, it's cool as hell to see. I think it's always going to be the biggest draw. Like what they have that barbecuers don't have is they have something to see. So I think it's always festivals like Memphis in May and stuff like. I think there's going to be a huge place for that, for people to come out and do it. Is that something a lot of people are going to tackle in their backyard? I don't think so necessarily. So I think it fills a hole, and like its drawback is it's positive. It's the same thing, right? Because it's more of a performative style of cooking than necessarily a practical style of cooking. But I think it's very cool. I mean, we were walking around Memphis in May, and we're talking about doing it. You know what I mean? I'm like, yeah, man, I'd love to get into this. I think what they're doing, you know, what Al's doing, you know, it is very cool. It puts the spotlight on live fire cooking and on what we're doing, and so I think it's an awesome thing. And I do think you'll see those pop up at festivals all over the place because it is performative. And so it's like,
cool.
You know, like what we do there's nothing to it. Like what we do is we're making, you know, we're efficient. We're making great barbecue, but there's nothing for the people to see.
Exactly.
That whole, or this is all what people can see, right? Like this is, you know, some of those contraptions they're cooking on are unbelievable. And, you know, so is it something that I think is going to be anything other than niche long term? I don't. But do I think it's going to be like bankable, sellable all over the internet? Yeah, because it makes pretty pictures and it looks cool as shit.
Right. Yeah. Well, I think, well, there's from what Christy told us on the show a few episodes ago, which I think you might be able to fall into this too, but it's more or less like the world foods. You know, you have a main protein and then you have some sides around it. Yeah. But reason why I say you could fall into this because the live fire is a drum smoker, an offset, anything that doesn't have a fan or fan assisted is considered live fire. But then the open fire is your Argentinian style grills and things like that. So I think they did a pretty good job of balancing that. But once again, I just feel like it's going to take a while or to get going, or like you said, it just might just be a festival type entry.
Well, I mean, I think it'll go enough. I mean, I think the interest is there. I think they've already proven out the concept. You know, is it going to overtake, you know,
KCBS
or whatever? I don't just because, you know, but do I think it's great, man? I love, the format is cool. Everybody's cooking, you know, the creativity. It's one thing we don't have, you know, in competition barbecue. I wish we could get back to it, but there's zero places to innovate, create. I mean, I wouldn't say innovate, but we're innovating within our sandbox. This is just wide open playground, man. It's kind of like the Minecraft of cooking, and you're out there just doing everything, and it's cool. And so, do I think competition wise will it grow? Yeah, I think there's absolute place for it. And I mean, like you said, I'm thinking about doing some. You know, I'd like to get down to that one in Hondo and hopefully judge and check it out, man. I've been kind of bending Christie's ear to get down there and do it. So I think it's a fantastic deal. I just, like I said, I just think it's its own place. And I think what makes it so cool also is going to be what limits it.
Right.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting to see what type of proteins that everybody's going to be pulling out for those contests. Cause it's not, you know, you're not cooking a specific protein, pick your proteins and you pick your sides. It'll be interesting because I think the creativity is really going to pop on this stuff.
Yeah.
Well, I learned about a new cut that I'd never heard of, and we had it at ThermalWorks. I think it was Tuffy that prepared it, but it was pork skirt steak.
Oh yeah, no, I've had those before.
Yeah, it's very hard to source them, but it's going to be things like that, you know, a pork skirt steak or something like that to be able to cook on that. It's going to just set it a little bit different, you know. It's a matter of finding those proteins like Terrace Major, right? If you can figure out how to do something like with Terrace Major, a lot of people don't know what that muscle is, but it's fantastic. It's probably it's definitely in my top 5 of beef cuts.
Yeah, sure.
So, but,
and a lot of those traditional cuts aren't super familiar with people anyway, that people are doing, you know, the picanhas and stuff like that, you know. But they also have another one to source from the pork is they do sell like the ribeye cap of the pork too. That's fantastic. You know, you know, the spinalis of the pork, man. It's pretty good cut of meat.
That's when you get to know your local butcher really well and get some of those unique cuts and bring those out and kind of showcase those different cuts that we don't see on the regular, you know.
Right.
Absolutely.
Well, Brad, tell us a little bit about your restaurant. I've mentioned this before. Pretty much anything past the Rocky Mountains westward, there's not really a destination barbecue restaurant. There's a couple.
You let Jason Ganal know that?
Yeah.
He still eats the Rockies. He's good.
Right. Yeah, but it's just one of those things of like, hey, let's go out to the West Coast and get some barbecue, you know.
Sure.
But so let's talk about your restaurant. You're in the mix, right? You're where anybody can Google and be like, dang, let's go check out Getting Basted, you know. Like, tell us a little bit about the restaurant and all that good stuff that you got going on.
Yeah, no, man, we have, you know, the barbecue restaurant. We have 2 locations, and right now we're in the middle of it. We're in a tourist area. We're in Branson, Missouri, and then the other one's just like 30 miles north of Branson, so they're very close to each other. But you know, we started out cooking on drums, on gateway drums, and
Really?
we outgrew that. Now we're on old hickory pits, and but we're cooking. You know, we call it Ozark style barbecue, but obviously that's heavily influenced by Kansas City and Missouri style barbecue. And I mean, we think we do it pretty well. We're pretty high volume, and so we're always juggling a volume, you know, getting enough done with getting it done the way it should be done. And so that's a constant fight that I fight every day in the restaurant. But I think we do a pretty darn good job of it. So
How hot are you running your old hickories?
So we cook low. Yeah, we cook like everybody else. We're running the old hickories. We run them overnight at you know, like around 200 degrees, 190, 200 degrees. Then we'll kick them up to 275. So most stuff, you know, that our pork and brisket kind of go overnight, slow smoke, and then we kick everything up to finish it. And then ribs and chicken run at 275.
Right. I'm actually going to take back what I said. There is one restaurant that is becoming, I'm not saying it is, but becoming a destination barbecue restaurant, and that is
Picarica or Less's?
No, I'm talking about Kyle Matiszewski in Arizona.
Oh,
Birds and Bones.
Well, I mean, Little Miss has been one of the best restaurants in the country for a long time.
Yeah, Little Miss is awesome, but I don't think people like, I'm going to go to Phoenix just for Little Miss. I don't think it's quite there.
I've gone to Phoenix just for Little Miss before, but maybe that's just me.
Jesse hasn't. Have you, Jesse?
I've never had it. No. So
yeah. So
it's been a while, and I don't know. You know, it was before COVID, and I know he opened up a second location. Maybe I don't know.
The second location was banging. I didn't go to the downtown one. I went to the second location, and it was spot on. Spot on. Yeah. Spot on.
I mean, when you know, when I've been there, it's fantastic.
Right. So we can
my favorite back in your area is Q39.
Q39, yeah.
Before he passed away, it was really nice to meet him, and man, he made some really good burn ends that Mike McLeod was with us and everything else, and it was like, man, I would turn these in.
Yeah. Yeah. So Rob did a great job of that restaurant for sure. I mean, and you know, they've got the volume to show. It's one of the, obviously, you know, one of the big dogs of Kansas City, so that makes it one of the big dogs anywhere.
Yeah.
So if I go to Gettin Basted restaurants, I can find my traditional meats, right? I can find ribs, pork, brisket, those things like that. What is something that most people don't expect to find at your restaurant that is a top
I like our pastrami. We smoke, you know, smoke a corned beef that we serve quite a bit of, and I love that. We have pork steaks. You know, we're Missouri. That's one of my favorite things that we do is the pork steak. And we just recently, the one thing you would be surprised to find is we just recently started breakfast there here 1st of April. And so we've got some barbecue breakfast items that
I'm looking at that breakfast sandwich on your Instagram.
We've got several breakfast sandwiches. Yes. And we've got, you know, one of my favorite things is our bologna that we smoke. It's fantastic. You know, nothing more Missouri than that.
Right. So, and then also it looks like, I'm just looking at your Instagram here too.
Sure.
A lot of barbecue restaurants. I think there's a few peg leg porkers, but it's really honing in on the bar stuff, you know, making some nice actual cocktails that will pair with your barbecue. People try, but it's mostly just ends up being beer and an old fashioned, right? But from what I've been seeing, that you're actually coming up with some really good cocktails that work with the restaurant.
Well, we're full service. So we're a little different than other barbecue restaurants that we're not waiting in the line. We're full service, and it's just kind of our DNA as restaurateurs that we come from a full service background. And so that plays with the bar. And you know, one of my concepts is called the Poorhouse, Downing Street Poorhouse. And we struggle, not to be a bar, right? Because we got to keep our alcohol sales below 40% for insurance purposes and everything else. We run about 37, 38% alcohol sales. And so we've got a lot of bar experience and a lot of people in that, from that industry. And that's what I used to do forever, is work in bars. And so, definitely, it is much more profitable to sell vodka than it is to sell.
Oh, yes, it is.
And it helps our bottom line to get the cocktails going on that thing. But there is a point when we're rolling, right? Like we're a place where like we want you to have one drink and take your dessert to go because we got people waiting for that table. So it's kind of like, let's flip the thing, get in here. So kind of depends on the time of the year. This time of the year, we want you to kind of eat and get out.
Right.
Yeah.
Respectfully.
What's kind of some of your best sides that you're making at your restaurant?
I mean, by far, our most popular side is our cream corn brulee. We sell just that, yeah. And our potato salad, we make that, and our coleslaw, fresh made every day. Both sell very well. But our corn dish is the hands down the most popular thing that we've got on the menu for as far as I'm concerned.
I don't know. Those loaded fries look banging.
Yeah, we do sell some fries, man. Yeah, I mean, we go through.
But back to the cocktails slightly. The younger generation's not drinking as much as they used to. Brad, have you thought about mocktails?
No, we do, and we haven't necessarily done
menu
yet. I mean, we have, but we certainly at our bar have mocktails and have gone away from that. I don't drink anymore, so I mean that's important to me too. So no, 100%. We try to stick on. Right next door to Gettin Basted, we've got it's a franchise, but it's called Bahama Bucks. It's a snow cone contest concept, and it's right next door. And we got all kinds of the sodas and energy drinks and blah blah blah, all that stuff next door as well. So it's kind of like like the dirty sodas that are exploding in Utah.
Yeah,
they have them in St. George, Utah. Exact same thing. Exact same.
Yeah, that's kind of addictive here, man. It's crazy.
Absolutely exploded in Utah.
Yeah, they popped up in Utah. Wow. We've got the one here in Branson, and and they're good, cool concept.
Heck yeah. Well, we don't want to keep you too much longer, but is there anything in the pipeline that we should be expecting from you other than having you show up to contacts, kick our asses, and go home?
Man, I don't, not necessarily, man. Well, I don't know. I can't say I'm on a TV show. It's not a barbecue TV show. It's coming up, and we won't talk about results, but that'll start being advertised when I can advertise it. It's a normal TV show, so it's kind of far out of the box, and I can't really talk about it right now. But when I can, I will certainly let everybody know. Very fun experience. Other than that, man, I'm just cooking and really focusing on the restaurants. Like I said, we got breakfast going. We're working on a new concept as well, which is just more of a fast food concept that we're working on, and just always developing and always trying to up the restaurant game. We got basically 6 restaurants right now and keep opening them up. And, I'm trying to make myself big enough so somebody buys me so I can quit.
So you can retire.
That's exactly right.
Awesome. So let's dig back into your past and go, all right, if I had known this, I could have shortened my learning curve a ton. What's a good tip for a backyard cook just getting started?
I overcook everything. I mean, I think that's the thing. It's not overcook it to the point of beyond recognition, but I always tell people in the class, like if you're attempting something and you're asking yourself, hey, is this thing done? If you have to ask yourself if it's done, it's not done. Keep cooking it. And I think, I always tell people, look, perfectly cooked barbecue is perfectly cooked, right? Overcooked barbecue is still pretty damn good. Undercooked barbecue is awful.
Horrible. Yeah.
And so if you're gonna miss long, and it's harder to overcook a piece of meat than you think. And so I think that's the thing that took me the longest. I remember when I learned it was at the American Royal, and I'd done really well in the first 3 categories, and brisket hit me, and I'm just like, man, what they want, and I'm like, man, I think it's tight. And so the next day I set out, I'm like, you know what, I'm going to overcook this stupid thing. Like that was my goal, was the open of the American Royal to overcook. It's like 2014, I think. They're like, man, I'm going to overcook this damn thing. That's all I'm going to do. And I did. I pushed it. I turned it in, got a 180 the next day. Then that was sort of clicked. It's like, okay, you need to cook it. And so I think that's the thing. Like people always hear the perfect KCBS tenderness and all this and all that. And yes, that's true. But that being said, if you don't know, go longer. And that'll save you. You can always fix something that's overcooked. If you undercook it, it gets really difficult to fix it.
I told you, listeners. I told the listeners there's going to be a nugget that you have to listen for the show for, and that's it. Brad, you hit it on me. I've always been like, I've been terrified to go too far. Yeah, and I think that tip right there may have just changed my barbecue game completely.
There you go. I mean, it's
completely.
I think that little tip that Heath Riles shared last couple weeks ago,
the crash
about the crash cool.
Yeah.
Like if your brisket has gone too far, drop that on top of a sheet of ice for 60 seconds. Yeah, shock it, tighten it back up.
Yeah,
that's a really cool tip.
You know, honest to God, I can count on one hand how many times I've had to do that. But you know, I'm more often, you know, scrambling, trying to find a hot ground to drop a brisket on, you know, to get it going further. But think about the meat we're cooking. You know, you talked about it earlier, and you're finding these extremely marbled pieces of meat, and if you don't get that fat rendered out, it's not going to be good. The flavors aren't going to be right, and so you're walking the line of technically being overcooked as far as KCBS standard tenderness. But if you don't walk up to that line, it's not going to taste right. And so it's just all intertwined in the fact that it's like, okay, if you don't get it cooked enough, it doesn't taste right. You didn't render the fat. You didn't render the connective tissue. If you do it right, you're overcooked slightly. But trust me, I'll take an 8 in tenderness and a 9 in taste all day long. It won't wreck your day near as bad. I mean, you get 8s across the board in taste, man. You're hurting, especially now in the world of needing a 715 to win a contest, right? In the 700, 15.
We had a 714 in May.
Yeah,
we had 2 700s. One was a 714. He just absolutely crushed everybody.
Yeah, it's good.
But like you said, when you're cooking a Wagyu, you got to take it farther because there's all that fat in it. Just take it. You got to take it to that second stall is what I look for. That secondary stall.
Yeah, no, you got to cook it. That's for sure.
Sweet. All right. Well, so where can people, maybe reach out to you, find out about a class, things like that, if they're interested in learning more?
All the socials, at Gettin Basted, all the socials. Of course, you can always look me up too. I mean, Brad, I've got, whatever. I think I got one of those little blue check accounts that we don't announce stuff on. They charge you to verify that you're you now. It pisses you off. Hey, pay us $15 to prove you're you. But anyway, neither there. But and then our website, which we just completely screwed up. We completely changed all our websites over. So currently, you can't order anything from us as far as sauces and anything else. But that'll be fixed here in the next few days. But gettinbasted.com, you can check us out. But really, the best place is just all the social channels. Sweet. And of course, the barbecue league. Check that out as well.
Definitely. Sweet. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us tonight, Brad. Appreciate it. You did drop some knowledge on some people. That's all we really look for, is to, 1, hear your story, and 2, maybe teach somebody something new. So you hit all the check marks. We give you a free blue check mark on this show.
Thank you. You know what that is.
Yeah.
I appreciate it, Brad. I know you're a busy guy, so we appreciate you taking time.
Thanks for putting up with me being late.
It's all good.
On a long list of people that have dealt with me being late today. And seems to be what's going on. So
all righty. Well, thank you so much, Brad, and we look forward to maybe talking to you down the road.
Yep, sounds good. Thank you, guys.
See you, man. Bye.